Welcome to another episode of The Scary Show, where we discuss things that keeps you awake at night. With me tonight at Bidadari is Jess.
Hi everyone, I'm Jess. I'm an actress and a content creator.
So Jess, I know that you are a host of a ghost story podcast called Haunting Grounds that is part of a YouTube channel called Hellbang. But have you ever encountered something close to the supernatural world before?
Actually, a lot of people ask me this question before, but I'm so sorry, no. I've never have any encounters or experience.
Do you consider that lucky or unlucky?
Lucky!
Then why you host a podcast that is of this topic?
Okay, I think horror is a niche.
Genre.
Yeah, it's a niche genre in, let's just say, in Singapore. And for me, I just didn't want to do something that it's like a lot of people are already doing. Yeah, I would prefer niche kind of stuff. And
I see.
that's why I am part of Hellbang now. But can I share something very interesting?
Yeah?
I am very afraid of this kind of things. I do not want to hear or see anything or experience it in any way because I have a very good photographic memory. The last time I watched a horror movie, it was in 2009.
And you still remember that scene until today?
Yes, that's why I stopped watching horror.
But do you believe in the existence of such thing? What's your take on the supernatural world?
Although I've never seen or feel anything before, but I do believe that it is here. Although there is no scientific proof, but because I've heard a lot of stories from friends, so I would say I do not want to not believe there's this around because I don't want them to appear in front of me and hi, I'm here. You get what I mean?
You rather, in Chinese we have this 成语, right? It's called 宁可信其有,不可信其无. It's like there's no harm believing it's there rather than take the opposite stance and be skeptical and be proven wrong.
Correct. You are right.
What are some interesting stories that you have actually heard before?
There's one incident during our shoot for Hellbang. So we went for outdoor shoot. I can't remember exactly where was it, at some reservoir. One of us said that there's something over there. So we went there to try to shoot and to see if we can see anything or can feel anything. But when we reached that area, our camera just suddenly go haywire.
Wow.
It didn't allow us to record. And then it was I think, if I'm not wrong, it was blue or green screen.
Oh, so there was still power. It just go to blue screen or green, whatever screen it is.
Yeah, something like that. And then after that, it just shut down.
Wow.
So we couldn't shoot. And then I think we need to leave this area because...
this is a hint.
Yeah, because one of our
if it's me the next moment, I'll do take a handphone.
One of our crew said that can feel this thing is very strong. So okay, then we faster leave that area. Yeah. So me and my partner Joey, my another host, right, my co-host, we ran. We run away from that scene and then just waiting for them to come over.
But I mean, for you guys to, as a group, always go and explore this kind of places, whether is it reenacting a story or whatnot, wouldn't that be inviting that supernatural thing to be, I mean, doesn't have to be that specific, right? But can be some form of a supernatural form to be there, to be close to you guys. Because you are essentially talking about them, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, that's what people say also. If you are talking about horror stuff, trying to experience horror stuff, they will be around you. Or they might, not very sure. But so far, I've never felt anything or seen anything that I do not want to see.
Okay, hopefully one day, hopefully.
There's another one whereby keeps me up at night is, okay, I would say traveling. I love traveling and I love traveling by myself.
Whoa, why? As a girl, why? What fun and enjoyment do you find doing that?
I feel traveling myself, I will learn more about myself.
That I agree.
And I will force myself to be more independent.
So what, do you mean whenever you are traveling alone, you cannot sleep? It keeps you awake at night, is that what you mean?
Because I also have one thing that every time I travel alone, I always go to a place, a country that I've never been to. So no prior experience.
Just go.
Yeah. Yeah, just go kind of mindset.
So when you're traveling alone, are there any scary stories?
Okay, let me just share two different ones.
Okay.
One was I went to New York for the first time, So everything was very new to me. And then there was one incident because I'm a girl and I'm alone. So about 2 a.m., I took the subway back. And then when I was going back to my Airbnb, when I walked out of the subway, just diagonally across the road, there was this bunch of guys. So I was listening to music, but my music wasn't like very loud.
Yeah.
So I could hear them diagonally opposite, because when I walked out, I can see them right away, like here.
Okay.
It's just right in front of me. And then they were all looking at me, and I was alone, and no one was walking out of the subway also. I just turned the other way and act like I never see them. And then they started shouting.
Shouting?
Yeah, they like trying to call me.
In an aggressive way or?
I would say like annoying in a way,
Okay.
because they kept doing.
Yeah.
I just act like I was on my earpiece, I couldn't hear. While walking to my Airbnb, I was so scared. My back was facing them. So I was very afraid that they're going to follow me or whatever, because the alley walking to my Airbnb, it was very dark. Okay, so what I did was, I think I was very smart and funny.
Okay.
So I turned around because I was back facing them, right? So I purposely turned 90 degrees and then I tie my shoelace. Although my shoelace wasn't untied.
Right. Must keep it natural and gracious.
Like a bit, you know? So that like I can like see, are they following me or not? But luckily they wasn't following me.
Right. I think it's good though. I think all these are tips of what a solo traveler should do.
Yeah.
And a lot of Singaporeans will take that for granted, because
Singapore
to
is
a lot of
too
people, Singapore is too safe. We are the one of the few country that I would say females can just roam around anywhere. Pretty safe lah. I won't say, no crime doesn't mean no crime.
Correct. I would say like the hotel part scares me a bit.
Why?
Before I did Hellbang, I never knew I cannot take like a corner room. I never knew the reason. I never knew that.
Cannot is not the right term lah. It's just like...
Okay, not correct.
Yeah,
cannot.
But if you take corner room, the chances of supernatural occurrence
Correct.
might be higher because of in energy or whatever.
Correct.
Yeah.
So like when I go to the hotel, I say, please don't give me corner room.
Okay.
I say near the lift is fine.
Okay.
So I ordered a queen size bed. Obviously, I can't fit like a whole queen size bed. So I put one of my cabin luggage beside me when I'm sleeping.
You put your luggage on the bed.
Yeah, so that no one can sleep beside me. It's the same thing as if people say in your hotel, right? In your hotel room, you're the only person, and there's 2 single bed. You should put something on the other bed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So that like nothing like that thing cannot sleep on that bed.
That thing don't sleep on the bed. Could that thing sleep on you? I mean, like, you get what I mean?
I mean, yeah. And then like your slipper, the hotel slipper or your shoes, you cannot put like very nicely and neatly.
Yeah. Do you know the reason behind that?
Because they say they might wear your slipper or wear your shoes.
I had a different stories explanation for that lah. When you put it too nicely, it seems like you are home. And we are home, and there's something that is occupying that space might not be happy, because that is supposed to be their space.
Oh.
If you come in and say your protocol that, hey, I'm just going to be here a few days, don't disturb me, they understand. But if you put your shoe nicely, it feels like you're home.
So there's also another thing. Every day they will clean your room, right, in the hotel?
Housekeeping.
Yeah, housekeeping.
Yeah.
So, and I stayed there for 9 nights. So after the second night, actually, I said, don't need to clean my room. The reason why, because they put my hotel slipper too neatly. And every single time I go back to the hotel, I'm like, oh my goodness, why so neat, the slipper? I will always close my luggage and put my clothes neatly. I mean, I'm more than happy to see my bed like very neat, But when I see the hotel slipper so like placed nicely, I'm like, oh, cannot.
You must go and kick it to make it.
Yeah, and then I'm just like,
what other travel tips as a solo travelers would you give for females that maybe aspire to be like you?
Firstly, I would say traveling alone, you will learn a lot about yourself, because you're forced in an like unfamiliar environment that you can only depend on yourself.
But do you know that a lot of girls don't want to depend on themselves? Like, you know what I mean? They are comfortable depending on others. Can be a partner, can be a family, that reliance. But at the same time, I want to travel alone. I think it's very cool. I can try this and try that.
I think stepping out of your comfort zone is always a good thing, because you will always learn new things about yourself. Like you yourself never knew, You will actually like have an open mind to like, I can do it myself, Like then you will know that like actually you don't
enlightenment.
Yes.
Yeah, I can do it myself.
Yeah. And also, if you are scared, then just go somewhere that you have been before. So just do what you're comfortable with. But just make sure you do all your precautions.
Enough homework.
Yes,
Ask
do your
friends for
homework. Before you go to
advice.
travel, make sure your family members or your friends still can find you.
I really want to thank you for opening up. I think not all people can, share so willingly about their vulnerability. And I think there are a lot of girls that might look up to you for being this.
Yo.
Yeah, in an appearance you might be petite, but hey, I'm not a xiao mei mei inside. I'm actually very bold.
Okay, I'm very cool.
Sleep tight, everyone, if you can. We'll be back with more stories to haunt your dreams. Until then, stay curious, stay cautious, and stay scared.